The Pardoner's Tale by Chaucer.
You guys all in?
All in. Yes, I won! One morning in Flanders, 3 men were sitting in a tavern drinking and gambling. What's that noise, guys?
What's that? Until they heard funeral bells from outside the window.
What's that, you say? What, George has died?
Oh, George, he's my best friend.
Oh, he was the best one!
I tell you what, why don't we avenge George? Kill Death before midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go right through to it.
The men have decided that they're going to kill Death and avenge George. Let's kill Death.
Yeah. Sound a little suicide. What are you guys talking about?
We are talking about killing Death. We are going to kill Death and avenge our friend George.
Why are you still alive then?
Well, I've been ready to die for many, many years now, but death just won't take me. Anyway, I think I saw him over the oak tree over there.
Thanks.
What was he saying to you?
Oh, he was saying that Death. He saw Death over by the oak tree.
Oh, let's go. There's the oak tree. Coins. Whoa. I'm gonna go look for some more over here.
I don't want to share this with Fred. Kill Fred. Take it all for ourselves. Let's go look over there.
I don't really want to share my gold with them. I'm gonna poison their drink. Hi, do you guys want a drink?
Oh yeah.
Celebrate our drink. Ha! No! Don't mind if I do.
Mind if I do?
The 3 men were double-crossed by the old man. The old man knew that they were going to be killed. The end. Woo!
The Nun's Priest's Tale. There once was a poor widow who lived in a tiny farm cottage next to a meadow and a wood.
She lived with her 2 daughters, 3 pigs, 3 cows, 3 sheep, and a cock named Chantal, who had 7 wives. Chanticleer was known for his fine voice.
I'm Chanticleer. I have 7 wives. My favourite one is a pretty name called Pertula. Hello. Hello, my dear. Let's go to sleep. Good gracious, my darling. You are woken me up. I've had a horrible dream about an evil orange beast that came to kill me. Oh, stop squabbling. That doesn't make sense. I told you not to overeat. Let me tell you a tale about a man that didn't listen to the warnings of his dreams. 2 friends were walking around town and they needed a place to stay for the night. So they found a place to stay and one man slept in an inn and one in Oxford. The man in the inn had a horrible dream about his friend being murdered. He woke in terror, his friend saying, "Help me, I am being murdered." But he ignored it and went back to sleep. Once again he woke, and his friend saying, "Go find me tomorrow, I shall be dead." Once again he woke, but he didn't know what to do, so he went back to sleep. The next morning, he found his friend's ox stall empty. So he walked into the town's village, and there he saw jail the next day, and that's why you need to listen to the warning of your dreams, Pertalo. I still believe none of this. I'm not going to listen anyway. I love you too dearly to keep fighting, my dear. Ah, what is that? It's the orange beast I saw in my dream.
Don't be afraid. I've only come because I've heard you have a fine voice.
Oh, really? Well, would you like to hear me?
Yes, please. Your finest piece.
La 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 la.
I've got you now.
Oh, oh.
Calm down.
I don't know why I believe you. You tricked me.
Calm down. I've only brought you here to my wood so I could hear you singing for myself.
No, I'd never believe you. I told that silly Pertalo that he needs to listen to the warnings of the dream.
Thank you for watching.
The end.
The Wife of Bath. When King Arthur was reigning and the land was filled with fairies and magic, a bold bachelor knight of the court went sailing.
When the knight returned to the court, he came across a beautiful woman whom he treated with great disrespect. King Arthur would not tolerate such terrible behaviour. You're so ugly, you don't deserve to live.
At court, the knight was sentenced to death by the king, but the queen pitied the knight, so she lured her husband into letting her choose his punishment. Oh please, can I choose his punishment, please?
Oh, fine. The queen decided that the knight would have to go on a quest to find out what it is that women most desire. If he was able to find out what women most desire, then his life would be spared. If he was to fail, then he would be beheaded.
The knight had 1 year and 1 day to complete his quest, so he had no choice but to leave and set off on his mission.
The knight stopped at every place he thought he could find an answer. However, no two women agreed. As months went on, his heart grew heavier and heavier.
Hello!
Hi, do you know what it is that women most desire?
Well, I think that women most desire attendance.
Okay,
I'm glad I could help. Bye!
bye.
Finally the day had come when the knight was to return with an answer. He was riding along and he saw a group of delightful damsels dancing in a grassy glade. He encouraged his horse to go further as he thought surely one of them would know what woman desired the most.
As he drew close to the glade, all of the dancers started to disappear, and an old dirty hag was left sitting alone on the wet grass. In desperation, he told her of his quest. Oh, please tell me what it is that women most desire.
Well, if I tell you what women most desire, then you have to do the first thing I ask of you. The old hag smiled and told the knight that if she was to tell him what woman desired the most, then he was to do the first thing she asked of him.
The knight could not believe his luck, and even though her ugliness disgusted him, he lifted her onto his horse and they set off on their journeys back to the court. All the way back to the court, the hag would whisper her knowledge into the knight's ear.
The knight entered the castle and came before the queen to tell her of his knowledge. The hag had told him that women desired control over their man the most. So this is what he told the queen.
I believe that women most desire control over their man.
Well, I think we all quite agree with that.
In all of the court, not a single lady could disagree with the knight, so everyone agreed that his life should be spared.
The knight's joy and relief didn't last very long, as the old hag reminded him of his promise to do the first thing she asked of him, and the hag had decided that the first thing she wanted him to do was to marry her. I want you to marry me.
The knight failed to persuade the hag to take his wealth instead, so the next day they got married without a romantic ceremony or celebration. Please take my wealth instead.
No, I want to marry you. That was the deal. The knight hated his wife. She was horribly ugly and poor, and she said love was nothing without contentment. She asked for him to choose between having her young, beautiful and flirtatious, or old, ugly, but forever faithful. I want you to choose between having me, young, beautiful and flirtatious, or old, ugly, but forever faithful.
The knight, remembering the answer to the queen's riddle, told her to choose. So the hag kissed her wife, and as she did, she became young and beautiful, and the knight loved his wife, and so it stayed throughout their long and happy marriage.
That's the end.
The Miller's Tale. Hi, I'm John, a carpenter from Oxford.
And I'm Alison.
Stop it. Hello, Alison. I'm Absol. Take my riches.
No.
Ow! Scene 2.
The stars say that there will be a great flood, so we should hang ourselves in barrels from the rafter.
You sure?
Yes.
Scene 3.
John was blinded by his fear of losing Alison.
It's a...
The following Monday, he fixed 3 wooden barrels.
Thanks for supplying us with food and drink.
No problem, Nicholas. I'd do any deeds for my Alison. I'm tired, I'm going to sleep.
Let's go.
Scene 4. Seth and Nicholas's house. Come here, Alison.
No.
I'm coming up then. I'll get you next time, Alison. Hello, Alison.
Ta-da.
I am his Lord High Duke Theseus, and this is the very tragic story of 2 royal cousins who fell in love with the same girl. Very tragic. So one day, as I said, I was Lord High Duke Theseus, and I decided to capture 2 royal cousins from Thebes. We hate Thebes. I mean, honestly, they are the most irritating people on earth. I mean, who could be more irritating? So I captured them, and I... longer. And so I captured them and I locked them up in a stone room. And then I decided to keep them there forever. So it's win-win. I get to A, score off thieves, and B, I get 2 people to gloat at. I mean, what could be better? But then my sister, my wife Hippolyta's sister Emily, came past one day singing. My guard still hasn't got the sound out of his ears. And he woke up Arasite, one of the older of the 2 cousins. Arasite looked out of the window and saw Emily. And I don't know how, but he instantly fell in love with her. And then the sound also woke the other royal cousin, Polytheseus, who then looked out of the window and saw her too, and they both fell in love. So now the cousins were rivals in love, and they started to hate each other. So they grew hating each other more and more and more. But then one day, my friend, oh God, I've forgotten his name.
Callum?
Sorry? I've forgotten his name.
Gemma?
Prometheus came along, and he realised that Polytheseus was his old school friend. Would you believe it? And so he basically begged me to free him. So I had to. And so he was free, but the only condition was that he never returned to Athens ever again. And so Arasite was still locked up in his tower, and Polytheseus was dreaming of Emily back in Thebes. But one day, Polytheseus couldn't stand it anymore, so he returned to Athens, and he entered himself into Emily's household and became a servant. But then one day, whilst he was walking along in the woods, Arasite managed to escape from the stone cell by drugging the guard and then escaping. He came to a wood, and Arasite and Polytheseus met. And so they started arguing rather too loudly, and I came across them in the wood. And so we came to agreement in which we would have a tournament in which Arasite and Polytheseus and their knights would face off each other. And then, when they went off, Arasite got injured by a sword. And so Polytheseus went along to claim Emily as his bride. But as he went along, his horse bucked him off, and he fell to the ground. And as he lay dying, he absolutely advised Emily that if she were ever to marry someone, to marry Arasite. So I then decided to be amazing and to get Arasite and Emily together. And as I am amazing, I managed to do that. So now they are married. The end.
The Clerk's Tale. Long ago there was a wealthy lord in Italy called Walter. His people pleaded with him to marry and produce an heir. Please, Walter, will you marry and produce an heir? Walter chose to wed Griselda, the most hard-working, beautiful and patient girl he could find. Please, will you marry me and be hard-working and patient? Mamma mia, of course I will, my lord! Okay, get the hat on. Okay. A few minutes later, they had a baby, but Walter began to worry that Griselda would love the baby more than him. Under the Lord's orders, I have to take your baby. Okay, whatever my darling Walter says. I can't remember the rest of it.
No, it's like the best.
Some years later, they had a son.
Oh yeah. A few years later, they had another son, and again, Walter worried that Griselda would love the baby more than him. I'm afraid they have to take your baby away.
A few years later, he asked Griselda to return and repair.
Walter told Griselda to go home and never come back or something.
Right.
A few days later, Walter told Griselda to come back and get the palace ready for his new wife. Her bunting up.
She made Walter's future bride welcome and
Oh,
fed
yeah.
the most beautiful girl she'd ever seen.
You're the most beautiful lady I have ever seen.
Finally, Walter realised that no wife could ever be more loving, patient, or obedient to his wishes than Griselda.
Walter realised that no wife could ever be more perfect than Griselda, and he announced his undying love for her. He then revealed that the new wife was actually the daughter that he had taken away, and her brother, the son. They'd been living with Walter's sister ever since he'd taken them away from Griselda. He promised Griselda that he would never give her such a cruel punishment, and the couple lived happily ever after. The end.